Hello, I'm Julia Woning and welcome to this basic tutorial about PanPastel on pastelmat paper. Let me show you how you can create this air balloon. The basic set and the workshop book is available in Dutch and English. See for more information on panpastel.com and let me explain how you can transfer like a balloon. At the back, I rub it in with PanPastel on a copy. Then I will transfer it. I'm using a special pen and be aware, don't make too much pressure on the lines. I'll work here on pastelmat paper and I will explain how you can apply your PanPastel on pastelmat paper. What I'm doing now is mixing a very light pink with just white, some sienna tint and the blender on the sponge that I already used for transferring the balloon. Let me see the colors. I'm getting a little bit of white and a blender. The most important thing is on PanPastel on pastelmat is that you need an underlayer of PanPastel on your pastelmat to get those fine values and from light till dark or dark from light. So be aware of that. The most difficult thing is to know how much PanPastel you have to use on pastelmat. And that's experience. The same with the tool with the covers. Many people are saying my covers are deteriorating. You're using too much pressure and too less PanPastel. What you can see here, how I lay it up a bit by bit. Just with a little bit of color of PanPastel, I use a short stroke on my pastelmat paper. Because if I'm using too much pressure, you will break down your covers. So be aware of that and see how much area I will apply pastel on the pastelmat. Maybe then you get a feeling how much PanPastel you can apply with your tools. I'm not working with any brushes that's creating too much dust. The PanPastel is just great because they are less dust, vibrant color. They will mix like paint on paper and especially on the pastelmat paper. That paper has a lot of tooth and that's why you can apply lots of layers of PanPastel and work it with pencils or pastel pencils at the end. In this project I only use the PanPastel, the soft tools, on pastelmat paper. Now I'm trying to get the bigger sponge to apply the first layer of PanPastel, and you see I will apply a light, the white, the sienna tint and the blender. They will mix very nicely because I'm applying the blender to those two colors. And you can see I'm not using too much. In the center I'm using only the white because that will be the widest spot on the balloon. So that's why I'm already applying the white there. And then a little bit of pink in combination of the blender and the sienna tint on the first layer of PanPastel. That's how I create the light pink. Not white and pink and then apply on the new pastelmat paper, but first a light color and then a little bit of pink. That's experience, because when there's already an underlayer of PanPastel on the pastelmat paper, it's much easier to blend out those colors. So first the light color that I will mix with the blender, the white and the sienna tint, and then some pink, but very soft touch. You can see here that doesn't work. So first the white, the blender and the sienna tint to create an underlayer like this. Again. just build up that underlayer. Around the light point of the light on the balloon. Again, combination of the blender, the white and the sienna tint, and then some pink with the sienna tint, and I will blend it in now. And because there is an underlayer, I can mix those colors much easier to create a very nice value of light teal pink. Some red, a bit pink, sienna. Just mix those colors, and because of this, the underlayer, I can mix. Turn around your tool, and with a clean tool you can mix those colors. That's also experience. When do you use a new tool or a clean tool? Just try it out. This is a great project to practice. Turn around again, darker, and bring down a darker. And you can see how long or how big the stroke is on the PastelMat. It's not so big, because when there is PanPastel, then you can mix it all together. But first you apply your PanPastel, mixing even the blender with the darker colors, because the blender is a colorless blender. You can use it with any color, but be aware if you're using it on underlayers and you try to lay pastel pencils or color pencils, sometimes the blender is creating too much PanPastel on your PastelMat, if that makes sense. And then it will be difficult to work with your pastel pencils. But in this project you don't have to worry. This is only PanPastel. Now I'm mixing all those colors with each other. Because there is an underlayer now, you can mix those colors very slightly with each other to create a nice value. And building it up. So the experience is how much PanPastel you have to use on the PastelMat with your tools. And if you want to work with pastel pencils, you have to be more aware, because the blender will give more PanPastel on the paper than you normally will do. But it gives you the possibility to blend those colors very nicely. So I'm using the blender very often for backgrounds or for underlayers where I don't need to use any pastel pencils. Yeah, it's getting there. Trying to get the balloon some depth with the sponge around the edge. Trying to get the smoothness. Now I'm using again the soft tool and we'll rub down all those colors, mix those colors with each other with the flat tool. So with the whole cover of the tool. Mixing it all together and with a very light touch. So I'm very gentle. Be aware if you use the dark tool where you did dark pink to go around or on top of the light color. Be aware of that. Be careful. Some blender, some white to get the shimmer on the balloon. And mixing it all, rubbing it in the paper with a light hand, with a light touch. Now I'm transferring the tool in a position that I'm normally use with a pencil. So I'm holding down my tool differently. so I can work with the point of the tool. Go around. Some lighter color, but white is too white, so I'm using the sienna tint. These 10 colors or 9 colors and the colorless blender are in my own signature kit, Julia Woning signature kit. It's a basic starter set. In combination with my workshop PanPastel book, it's great to start with pan pastels. In the book, I explain many or several projects step by step, and you can find also some YouTube videos on my YouTube channel here. The book is available in Dutch and in English, and it's worldwide available there where you can buy your pan pastels. And you can see how you can mix these colors on the big sponge. There are several sponges and several tools. In the Julia Woning set there is also some sponges and some soft tools with covers, so you can dive in with your pan pastels. Building up the layer of the outer line of the balloon. Very gently, holding the tool as a pencil, working with the point. When I'm using the red instead of the pink, I'm always mixing it on my sponge because those colors are so high pigmented, and sometimes it's too much that you put on your soft tool. So the combination with the sponge as a palette is a very nice tip to mix your colors. Blending it all out. Building up. Now I'm using the point of the soft tool. I'm holding it just more like a pencil, drawing those lines around. If you find it difficult to make those round lines, try to move your work so you can work around the round form. So for now, when I'm shooting this film, I had laid down my drawing still, but normally you can flip over or turn around your drawing to get better access to get those lines there. Working it all into each other. Again, mixing it on the big sponge. Maybe some red. I want to have more shade more darkness in the balloon. Because when you're trying to get those dark parts darker, your lighter parts will be lighter. So, and I can't go any wider than it's already is, so I have to go darker. Oh, made a mistake here. No problem. PastelMat is very fulfilling, and even PanPastel is very good by erasing. So I'm using a kneadable eraser, and just with a light of touch, my mistake is gone. And that's something special about PanPastel. PanPastel has a very good appliance on paper, on other undergrounds, but it's also very erasable. So if you make a mistake, no problem, you can erase your PanPastel quite easily. Building it up. If you look at the reference photo, There is some light underneath the darkness, so first I apply the darker color. A bit there. Smoothen it out. And then some light color. Oh, maybe more. Yeah. Turning my tool around, and then it's a clean cover, so then you can work. So take what for you is easy. So hold your tools in a way that you prefer. It's all about the end result. Again, holding it like a pencil, and with the tip of my soft tool with a light touch, I'm creating a very nice line, a light line. And be aware you can't do the whole line, you have to do it piece by piece, and when it's all on the pastel mat, then you can mix it all like this with each other. That's only possible if there's already PanPastel underneath it. So be aware of that. First a little lay down of the lighter color with the blender, and then you can mix those lines all together like this, just with the point of the tool. And that's practice, 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 practice. But overall, enjoy the journey that you will have by creating artwork with PanPastel. Many people ask me what my favorite paper is. Probably you already know PastelMat, because it's a very fulfilling paper. You can create beautiful artwork, but you can also very easily erase your PanPastel if you make a mistake. So I've used several papers. Also in the book I explain how it works on different kind of papers, and even on canvas. With PanPastel you can work on canvas, like a painting, but then you have to fixate it. On PastelMat I normally don't fixate. I prefer it like this, and frame it if I want to frame it, and otherwise use the paper that's in the block of the PastelMat to save your project so it don't smudge. The lighter color, the white is too white, so I'm using now the sienna tint to create the light on the balloon underneath the dark line. Turn around your tool. You can turn around your artwork if you prefer, but for the film I'm leaving it like this. Bowie, a new visitor. When I'm Bowie is my little chihuahua. It's still a puppy, but he wants to join, wants to see me what I'm doing. Come on. Here you can see how he is checking my artwork. He's my companion, my studio dog. So, back to the balloon. Create some light on the balloon. Mixing those lights with those darks, but be aware if you have a light in your tool. Don't go on the dark, because then your dark will be lighter and that's not what you want. So be aware. Maybe you can work with two tools, the light tool and a dark tool, or clean your cover on tissue paper. Now the end, the knot underneath the balloon. It's difficult to show on the camera, but it's working with the tip of your tool again. Again in the dark, maybe some blue, but if I try blue directly, it will be too much. Then give it a wipe on your big sponge and then apply on your work. Just a light touch of dark ultramarine blue. Maybe it's getting too purple. Maybe I will mix another color. Blue. Let me, some red. Black. Very less. Just a little bit. Mix it all up. Some pink, magenta. Now I'm getting the color that I want. I want to have a darker pink color. To create more contrast in the balloon. Again, the color from the big sponge. With a very light touch, I'm mixing the dark color. Some lighter pink for the knot and the underneath. Give it a little bit of color. It's almost finished, I'm guessing. Some gray, pink, blue, red, just to create a very dark color at the end of the balloon. With the tip, you can create a dark color. With the eraser, the kneadable eraser, you can rid of all the excess pen pastel on your pastel mat. I'm leaving the background in this color. This is the paper color. You have several colors of pastel mat, but this is the light blue one. Even though it looks gray, it's light blue. And now I will create the line of the balloon, and it's white. And it would be easy if I've used the pastel pencils, but I prefer to work with the pen pastels and my soft tools as long as possible. So learn yourself that you can make straight lines or thin lines with the soft tools, and you can see how long you can make the line. So bit by bit you apply the pen pastel in the form of the line. And for this, it's no problem. If you want to have a furry dog or a cat or a horse, be aware that those hairy lines, it's difficult with the pan pastel, and then you have to work with an underlayer and then go to your pastel pencils. But for this, it's only one line, and I'm using the soft tools with just white. Give some extra depth, the white and blender on the top of the shimmer of the balloon. Some flat again, and mixing those colors around it. Make it a light color. When I go back to the white and my sponge isn't white anymore like this, then you rub it off the paper, some extra white, and with the white again a nice flow from white till light pink. Some extra white in the knot. Yeah. The shimmer down there. Work the balloon like this. Check every tone or value. The nice thing, because there is so much underlayer on the pastelmat, you can mix it all. It's very similar as wet paint when you're used to oil paints. Now it feels like that you're working in oil paints, because the underlayer is already filled the paper. There is enough to gently mix those colors all together. And you can see I didn't create any dust. It's very clean for a pastel drawing. So I enjoyed it to create this lovely balloon for you, and I hope you try it yourself, because this is a great practice to get acquainted with PanPastel. Check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. Until next time, bye!